Hey y'all, this is Marley K. Hope y'all are well. This video is gonna be a little bit, it's gonna be about the symbolism of this particular map that I'm showing you. I'm gonna try to blow it up. But this is the map that was in the movie Leave the World Behind, and it is titled The United States of Attica. And it is representative of the battle that went on at the prison in New York, where 42 people died to, I guess, be treated humanely. And I'm going to read what this map says. This map was created by Faith Ringgold, and she's a Black woman. She was from New York, and she grew up during that era. So the map that was on the wall in the background if you watch the movie, over the bed down in the basement where the Black father and daughter slept, there was this map. And you couldn't really see the map. You could see the picture of the map, but the map wasn't blown up. So I heard somebody say what this map was. So I just started doing some research on it because I wanted to know, why was it called the United States of Attica? I knew Attica was a prison, and I knew that prison was in New York because I knew somebody who was from New York who had been in that prison. And I heard stories about that prison, and I was like, why would they call this map the United States of Attica? So I started doing some research. So I'm going to read to you why this map was created. I'm going to blow it up and show you some of the descriptions of it. And then I'm going to talk about perhaps some of the spiritual aspects of this when it talks about the bloodshed. And then we're going to do a little journey into Attica, because Attica, not the prison Attica, but the name of Attica, because y'all know everything that is named here in America most times came from someplace else. Didn't come from the UK. It came from Greece or Rome or Athens. So Attica has some significance and is tied to Christianity, which I find very ironic. But we'll end up there. That's gonna be the last stop. But anyway, bear with me. So this map, the United States of Attica, was created in 1972 after this uprising in this prison in 1971. So it says the poster, the United States of Attica, was the most widely distributed of Faith Ringgold's posters during the 1970s. It is dedicated to the men who died in 1971 at the Attica prison for demonstrating against the deplorable conditions they faced as inmates. This red, black, and green poster depicts a map of the United States noting indigenous, slave, and immigrant uprisings, and the dates and other details of acts of violence that occurred within each state since the late 1700s. Racist violence, witch hunts, assassinations, lynchings, and other oppressive actions against the indigenous and people of color in the United States. It also includes military imperialist violence committed by the United States abroad, for instance, in Japan and Vietnam. Countless injustices and atrocities written in small handwriting fill the map entirely and its surrounding periphery. A laconic invitation to add further acts of violence emphasizes historical continuity and ceaselessness of violence as a defining characteristic of the development of the United States of America. Now, what I find interesting is that this map is in this movie on this wall and is shown before or as the movie gradually delves into how the nation is eventually going to crumble. So the way that it began is the way that it is going to end. And Mahershala Ali, the black homeowner, in the end basically tells you the three ways that the powers that be, the least, what is it, the most cost effective way to destroy a nation from the inside out would take place. And so he gave the three steps. But it's basically the exact same way this nation was defined or built on bloodshed and destruction, and it will cease to exist as a nation due to bloodshed and violence. And so I found that very symbolic. And I don't think it was placed in the movie by accident. The scene or the setting of the movie was in New York. They have a New York artist featured in this particular movie. And I'm sure it's probably some other stuff that I missed. But for this particular map to be in there in the red, black, and green, which are Pan-African colors, and the red representative of the bloodshed. So it's just interesting that this was depicted in this movie. Now, the other thing that I want to show you, if I can, I'm just going to try to make this bigger. Let's see. And you notice here, since I'm right next to it, Attica is the name came from here. So everything that we have in this country came from someplace else. And like there's nothing original about this place. So I just found it a little comical. I wanted to share, see if I can blow this up. There it is. Okay. So you may not be able to see this really well. I can't really find a good version where I can just blow it up real big and read some of the stuff off of it. So here, like in North Dakota, there's nothing written in North Dakota. In Minnesota, they have like on the map it has Sioux massacres, Little Crow massacre. It looks like it's 1862. It tells about how many people died. There's all kind of stuff up here in the was supposed to be the ocean. Like in Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, there's like not really anything. Well, I can't say there's not anything because I can't really see what is on these maps. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Yes. Oh, wait a minute. Go down one. Okay, so let me see. Okay, let me go down south. It seems like they are easy to read in the south. In Texas, oilmen violence. Lee Harvey Oswald shot November 29th, 1963. Raid in Brownsville, August 13th, 1906. One dead, two wounded. Race riot. Longhue, Greg Cherry. I think that says Greg Cherry. I'm not sure. Gaze Cherry. I don't know. July 13th, 1919. New Mexico, Fort Sumter, 1853. K.E. Carson. Some type of campers. Navajo, 40,000 exiled. Long Walk, Comanche, Thousands die on the way. Apache Wars in Arizona from 1861 to 1886. Race riot in Houston, August 23rd, 1917. 19 dead, 13 hanged. And so anytime you see race riot, it means Black people. And you'll find that all throughout this particular map. There's a massacre in New Orleans, Louisiana, July 30th, 1866, 35 dead, 2,000, looks like 87 wounded. New Orleans unrest, 1873, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, September 1935, Huey P. Long shot, race riot, Vicksburg, Mississippi, December 7th, 1874, 35 dead. Then I'm going to go over a little, I went over too much. So I'm going to go over to here so you can see Civil War 1861 to 1865, 364,511 dead, 281,811 wounded. The War of 1812, 2,260 dead, 4,505 wounded. Seminole Raid 1816, 300 dead. Battle Swamp, I don't know what that is, something 1836. And this map don't even cover half of the things that happened. Now, this was created in 1971, and it does say this map of American violence is incomplete. Please write in whatever you find lacking. And so there's so much, the point of this is there's so much violence, so much bloodshed, so many massacres of Black people, indigenous people, what they call American Indians, and other groups, other ethnic groups that have come here and tried to coexist in what is alleged to be a melting pot, which we know there's no such thing because white folks ain't gonna let you melt or blend in with them. So this map being in this movie is very interesting, being that you're at the end of this empire, and many of the people who reside here do not believe they're going to reap what they've sown into the world. They don't believe that their blood, and when I say they, I mean children of the corn, they don't believe their blood is going to be shed because their ancestors have shed so much blood, especially our blood, because we are here. And the Bible specifically talks about what will happen, when he comes to avenge his chosen people. But I want to share these scriptures with you in Exodus 22, 2 through 4, because this country has stolen a lot and shed a lot of blood. And I believe the time is coming where they're going to have to do recompense, and they're going to have to pay with blood and destruction. So it says, if a thief is caught breaking in at night and is struck a fatal blow, the defender is not guilty of bloodshed. But if it happens after sunrise, the defender is guilty of bloodshed. Anyone who steals must certainly make restitution. But if they have nothing, they must be sold to pay for their theft. And therein lies where the problem is going to be, because by the time the children of the corn finish selling out the children of the corn, there ain't going to be nothing. And this is why they're going to be sold to pay for their theft. They've benefited from the theft, and they act like they don't understand that this country has continually stolen not just from us African American Black people, but from nations and people all across the globe in order to keep them wealthy and lifted up and above everybody else. So it says anyone who steals America, children of the corn, Anglo-Saxons, must certainly make restitution. But if they have nothing, they must be sold to pay for their theft. If the stolen animal is found alive in their possession, whether ox or donkey or sheep, they must pay back double. And I apologize. My refrigerator want to act crazy right now. I'm sitting here. So if you hear that noise in the background, just kind of ignore that. All right. And this last scripture I want to read to you is Zephaniah 1:16 through 18. And I'm reading the NIV version because we are going to be avenged for all the bloodshed. And I think that is why this map was placed in this movie. So it says 16, a day of trumpet and battle cry against the fortified cities and against the corner towers. 17, I will bring such distress on all people, all the people, that they will grope about like those who are blind because they have sinned against Yah. Their blood will be poured out like dust, and their entrails like dung. Neither their silver nor their gold will be able to save them on the day of Yah's wrath. If the fire of his jealousy, in the fire of his jealousy, the whole earth will be consumed, for he will make a sudden end of all who live on the earth. And so folks going to have to give an account in this country for what they've done. And we've been warning them about this is coming, this is going to happen, and all they keep telling us, oh, this will never happen. Oh, this is America, it'll never happen. Oh, this will never happen in America. It's going to happen. It's already been prophesied. It's happened already twice. It's going to happen again. So this book will be added on to probably once the millennial kingdom is up and running, and folks will have jobs to prophesy what will be coming again after the 1,000-year rule. But in the meantime, what's going to happen is happening now, and it is just the beginning. So I just find it interesting that that map was in this movie, and that the movie was about the fall of a civilization, in particular America, in a major city in New York. Now, last thing that I want to show you is this map. Read you some of the history of Attica. So let me go back up here. So they have all these archaeological sites all over. You know how historic this place is. But it is also one of the places where Christianity took hold. And a lot of the monuments and different things that are Christian today are on top of um, what do they call those things? Um, Here it is. Temples dedicated to goddesses. So, like for this one, the 17th century church of Agoi Anagiori, also known as the Medocian of the Holy Sepulchre, is located at the Anaphiotica in Plaka. Originally opened as a convent, presumed to have been owned by the prominent Coloquinte family. The church is a single-site basilica dedicated to the Anagaroi. I don't know who these people are, but anyway, this is what I wanted to go into. This place is a designated. Oh, I'm sorry. This is what I'm looking. The Medocion is deeply involved with the holy ceremonies of Easter, designated as the point of initial reception of the holy light from the sepulchre of Jerusalem. What is that? On the night of celebration of the Holy Resurrection, the church attracts many visitors. Listen to this. It was built on the site of an ancient temple dedicated to goddess Aphrodite. So, this place has lots of ties to Christianity, and you have to go and read. I'll include a link to this. But it's just very interesting how it's changed over time, and how you can see if you read the history, there's a lot of ties to the Roman Empire, and I'll just say apparently giants say that. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that because that's a whole other area that I wasn't planning on talking about. But what I want to talk about is just the name, why Attica, the prison Attica, was named what it was. Who decided to name it that? Who knows? Is it because they know that there was going to be a place where they were going to be putting a whole bunch of black people, African Americans, descendants of slaves, and because they know what they did to us over there on the continent? Who knows? Nobody knows why these people do what they do. But what I do know is these folks know that they've shed blood, and they know that they're going to have to give up some blood. And they know that the time is up. And I don't think people really understand how these people speak to us in these movies and through signs and symbols and codes and numbers and colors. Just so much is here. And like I said, I've started paying attention to a lot of these things. Like, why do they stick that there? What does that mean? And just go do some research. Just random while I'm sitting down and watch TV. So I'm always thinking about stuff like that. And they, it's been a couple of weeks since I've watched this movie, but that map I could not get out of my mind. I was like, what is that picture? Why is it there? What does that mean? The United States of Attica. I know what Attica is, but why did they use that term? And why is that picture right there over the bed? And then once I found out what it was, and then I, had an opportunity to put the pieces together, it makes sense that it would be in that movie, because the people who have been in charge and been ruling and terrorizing us are getting ready to experience what they've doled out, and it's not going to be at our hands. They've been afraid of us for 400 years, and guess what? We're not going to be the ones that harm them. Even you know, in down to the wire at the end, it's not going to be us. You look at all these people coming across the border. Those are the people that they've always allowed to come here. Those are the people that they've always put over us. So For us, it's just more enemies that, we have to contend with. But at the end of the day, all those nations where they've spilled blood, they've mistreated people, they've done stuff, they've exploited the nations, lied to them, stole their resources. People are coming back here to do the same thing to this country, and the descendants of those people who have done that are living now, and they're going to have to pay for what they've done, what their ancestors have done, and what they've done, not just to us, but to other nations, and including the destruction of this earth, God's creation. And they are not ready to admit it. And I don't think they're ever going to be ready to admit it. There are some people that are coming around, but collectively they are not gonna, they ain't gonna do right. So I just kind of wanted to talk about the symbolism of these things in this particular movie. But don't take for granted what you see when you're looking at movies and commercials and stuff. Look at everything. Sometimes you might have to freeze your TV. Sometimes you might have to, go on YouTube and find the ad or find the commercial, or you saw the thing. See if you could find somebody talking about it and do your own research. But there's nothing hardly that is just accidental placed in these movies and in these shows. Everything has a purpose. There's a reason for everything. And you got to understand, we don't run Hollywood. We don't run the movie industry. We don't run the entertainment industry. So when this stuff is put out before us, and it wasn't even put before us, this movie was primarily made for white people. We just happened to watch it. You could tell it was made for white people by the number of black people in it. It was not made for us. And so white people was never going to get this. They're never going to get this because they don't care about nobody's blood shed except for white folks' blood being shed. And they don't really care about that. This is symbolic of what is to come. The last will be first and the first will be last. This is their ending and this is our beginning. And they're going to have to pay double for what they've done to us. And it's getting ready to come. Although, a lot of us are here and a lot of us may experience it because we're still here with them. I honestly believe the Creator is going to make a way out for us, because if that's the case, if he wasn't, then that would mean he was a liar, and I don't believe he's a liar. The enemy knows he's not a liar, which is why they're confessing all this stuff at the last minute. They know. They know the truth. We're the ones that are grappling with truth because we've been lied to for so long and about so much that it's very difficult to wrap our minds around the fact that the Bible is true, the Tanakh is true, the Torah is true, the Apocrypha is true, and they ain't ran around the whole world stealing artifacts and scraping noses off of sphinxes and hiding ancient books and pulling stuff out of holy text for nothing. They know. They know who we are. They know who they are. That's why they hid who they are and stole our identity. And that's why we don't know who we are. And they spent billions and trillions of dollars educating us to make sure we don't know who we are. So, again, in all you're getting, get understanding, because time is running out. This stuff is not going to be here long. Make sure you take pictures, screenshots, save copies, download stuff, because things are disappearing. And when the internet goes down, when we have the big old cyber pandemic, it's a wrap. Ain't going to be no more nothing. I'm not going to be able to talk to you. I ain't going to plant no seeds. Nobody else on the internet who's awakening is planting seeds, waking up people like, Brother Yuda and some of the other teachers and elders who have been teaching end of the world ministries. Just a lot of good people been teaching about what's coming. They're not talking about fighting for nothing in this country. They understand spiritually it's a wrap. It's done. All we can do is brace for impact and look at the madness and pray that we're found worthy to escape it. So, with that said, don't look at stuff and just think that it's accidental or it means nothing. These people mock us every single day. And we got to be a little wiser to understand this is just another device. They're checking to see if this device works. And um, each one teach some. I'm looking more, so when I find something, I'll share it. And if you find something, please do share it, because we all need to continue to teach each other and wake each other up as things get worse, as the adversary reveals his sins to everybody and finally admits defeat. Because to me, this is kind of like an admission of defeat, except for the people that have been used by the adversary don't realize that they've been used. And at the end of the day, they're going to have to pay double, because they allow themselves to be used to harm us and other people just to be on top. Zero sum. We got to lose so they can win. We ain't ruling like that in the millennial kingdom. So keep that in mind as you learn who we are, think about how we've been treated, and understand you are awakened for this time to understand how to rule. You want to rule fairly, you want to govern fairly, you want to judge fairly, you want to do everything the way that the Creator would have us do it. And although we're going to go to the wilderness and we're going to learn how to do it, still, of our own volition, we need to have that attitude. We want to be fair rulers. We want to look at our enemies and not necessarily have pity for them, but understand we not doing what they do to us when it's our turn to rule. And I think that is something that we're going to be judged for when it's time to get out of here. Those of us who are selected now, who may have an opportunity to rule or be in high positions in the next kingdom as we rule, think about that. Remember how you were treated and it didn't feel good. You can't go into the next kingdom and rule like that. If you do, you ain't going to be there long. All right, y'all. This is Marley K. Love y'all. And I'm out. Oh, please like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification, and hit all so that you'll be notified each and every time I upload new content. I'm about to get 500 followers. I can't get there. I've been at 480 for 2 months. So if you can, please subscribe to the channel, share it, ask others to subscribe to the channel so at least I can get over 500 subscribers. I have been struggling for the last year and a half to just get 500 followers. It just doesn't even make any sense. But I understand why, because I'm marked. I'm sealed by Yah, but I'm marked by the adversary. So help a sister out. Like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel. Please make sure that you share this with others. Make sure you comment, because it helps the video get carried out over the airwaves. Share it on your social media. Make sure you use hashtags when you share it so that the algorithms will pick it up and carry it. If you like this type of content, follow me on Rumble, Odyssey, Facebook, and Instagram. The links are in the description. And if you'd like to support the channel financially, links are in the description so that you can support me through Venmo and via Coffee. You can also become a Patreon, a monthly subscriber. I do not have Cash App. I just can't use Cash App. So if you want to support the channel, those are the means for you to do so. And I really appreciate it. We don't have any sponsors and we're not monetized. So with that said, keep prepping, keep praying, keep seeking the Most High. These symbols, signs, and codes not coming out for nothing. They're subtle, but they mean something. And, for true Israel, just keep holding on. Keep the faith. Keep studying. Keep those law, statutes, and commandments. Keep the Sabbath. Learn how to observe Sabbath the way that the Creator desired for his children, his chosen people to do. And repent for your sins daily, sins of commission and sins of omission, because you don't want that blood to be unforgiven when it comes to judgment. We're talking about judgment and blood spilled here on this soil. We are here, and I'm sure a lot of us have done a lot of wrong things. So just make sure you give an account of yourself now so that you won't be omitted from the kingdom later. All right, this is Marley K, y'all, and I'm out.